The best family memory when I got birthed by my own mother.
No friggin' way.
Because that's the best moment of me, and
You do not remember that.
having a sisters is really actually amazing. I don't care if you are Katie or Jenna or could be Ted and Nia. Jenna and Katie are incredible for sure sometimes.
Taryn Fountain says, have you ever been mistreated because you had Down syndrome?
Wow. Welcome back to Baker's Bantering. Woo woo woo! Woo! What do you think? My mom have energy? A little bit for me.
Why does mom have more energy than you?
Let's just say I am super duper tired.
Why are you tired?
Because this morning we have that tornado.
Tornado warning.
Yeah, tornado warning. Yeah.
Katie woke up
4:30.
4:30-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to her on the way to school this morning.
She came in and woke up Eric and I and woke up Derek. I would have slept right through it.
I heard Derek was already awake. Did the tornado sirens wake you up or did Katie wake you up?
I don't know who wake me up.
But you came to the basement?
We did because the tracker, the storm tracker, I turned on the TV and it was coming like straight over Harvester and, you know, our section of St. Louis County. And we're like, we better go downstairs. And then we called next door and woke them up. We did not call you and wake you up because it was not hitting your section of the
Thank goodness.
county.
Lucky me. I got to sleep all morning.
Yeah, but we
I
did
woke
call
up-
them.
Lucky you.
I woke up to texts in the family group chat
Yeah.
about, you know, what a way to start the day and all these things. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are they talking about?
I don't think Katie was able to go back to sleep, but she gets up at like 5:30, 5:45.
Yeah,
so.
I called her at 6:45 when I got up. She was on her way to school. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
She's like, well, you were probably fine, but we got woken up by tornado sirens. And I was like, ooh, sucks to suck. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But I went back to bed and had no problem go back to sleep.
Well, before we get too far into it, Mom has some defending.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some defending to do, just for the record. Like,
oh boy.
I'll keep it brief, but
Derek didn't let just a recap. Last week on the podcast, we did talk about Derek's spitting problem and how he had been spitting in the house. Derek did not let you participate in that conversation.
which I thought was BS at the time.
I thought it was BS too.
and I think it's BS now.
I
bit
fought
for
for
me.
you, Mom. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
necessary for you to not be able to be a part of that conversation. But Derek said he was not going to talk about it unless you did not participate.
Yeah, and I think that's because he wanted to paint his own picture.
and Mom's here this
and
week
the-
to defend herself.
And the only thing I want to say is I did not yell. He was the only one yelling.
I believe it.
It was ugly because I used the word disappointed
And
Right.
disrespectful.
and disrespectful. So yeah, it was ugly, but it was not my tone. And that's all. We don't have to get crazy into
Your
it.
tone was probably not nice.
Well,
Not kind. It was angry.
I
It was
was
mad.
angry, but
But you were not yelling.
And I am a yeller. I admit it. I yell, but I was not yelling. I was very calm, and I said this is unacceptable, and we are going to have consequences, and there you go. So,
Is Mom telling the truth?
She is actually.
okay. So
was
now we can move on.
Ugly.
I will
It
say
was ugly,
Ugly.
but it wasn't because of me.
I never said you were yelling. I said because when I was still there, you were not yelling. He was the only one yelling, and then I got told to leave. So I didn't know what happened after that.
Well, I just felt like he didn't need piling on. Like it's my home. I'm his mom. I'm going to explain to him all the reasons it's wrong. And he didn't need you jumping on his back too, which
No.
is why I told her to leave.
I was fine with you telling me to leave, and I understood why you told me to leave. And there is oftentimes, you know, when Derek does something that us girls have something to say about, or if dad does something that us girls have something to say about.
Hear about it 3 times.
Dad does like to call us the 3-headed monster.
Yes, he does.
Because if
Now I know why.
if mom has something to say, Katie and I generally agree with her. And next thing you know, dad's getting attacked by 3 angles.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't need to talk to you guys.
And they all try to help me. And it's like, I don't need your help. Like, I don't need her help when I'm telling him all the things he did wrong. And when I'm having a little disagreement with my husband, I don't really need my daughter's help either. But yeah.
But we like to give our opinion anyway.
Yeah, we're all opinionated. So anyway, I just wanted to say, for the record, I was not yelling. Not that I don't yell, because I do. In this moment, I was very calm. And the only person that was yelling was him. I think the reason it was so ugly is
Guilty as charged.
Because he was guilty and he knew it. And that's why it was so ugly.
Guilty as charged.
All right.
Moving on.
Glad we cleared that up. So I've been a little sick. So if I sound not normal, that's why. But it was funny because
Which is also why I'm sitting over here, because I don't want her germs, because I'm going out of town in 2 days. I don't have time for that.
New Hampshire.
And
We are coming to New Hampshire. So if you think you see us in New Hampshire, it's because we're there.
There you go.
Yeah, come
Although by the time this comes out, we'll already be gone.
Yeah, well, there's that.
But
Derek called me this morning to check on me, and he wanted to know if I was going to be up for the podcast today, which I've been working very hard to get better. I was really sick on Saturday and Sunday, but I've been on the mend, even though I don't still sound great yet. And he said, I told him I was feeling better, but I wasn't perfect. And he said, we all know that.
Nobody's perfect.
That's true. Nobody's perfect.
I was like,
Hannah Montana said it.
Bro, that is crazy.
Nobody's
Everybody makes
perfect. I'm going to work it. I don't know.
We've been quoting Hannah Montana 2 weeks in a row.
Been getting a lot
Last
of
week
playtime.
it was everybody makes mistakes. This week it's nobody's perfect. We'll see what next week brings.
Yep.
Derek, I heard you were dishing out some advice to our cousin Megan this week.
I did.
What kind of advice were you giving Megan?
Well, Megan told me she have a CPAP.
She just got a CPAP.
She did?
She just got a CPAP, and I told her some couple 2 or 3 lot of advice.
2, 3 a lot. Yep. What'd you tell her?
Don't take scissors to it.
Do not throw that out there.
I did write down don't take scissors to it in case you forgot to mention that. Because I heard you told her that. Which is good advice, to be honest. You learned the hard way.
I did learn the hard way. Do not use scissors for sure. That's just stupid and
It wasn't a good decision.
Unforgettable.
Okay, well, yeah.
It is unforgettable that you use scissors on it.
It is. That'll go down.
I'm also glad insurance hasn't caught up with that yet.
Let's hope nobody's listening.
Yeah, really. Well, let's hope a lot of people are listening, but just not the insurance
Nobody
company.
from the insurance company. That's true.
Anyway.
Okay, so what kind of advice did you give Megan?
Anyway.
Besides scissors.
Anyway, the advice I give her, the CPAP is brand new to her for sure, and I told her about some fruit advice for her with fit in. You definitely get used to it when you put that mask on, and she's new, she's learning it, and I'm very happy for her. So
you were just a supportive king, right?
I just support my cousin, and next week, not next week, but the week after that, we should invite Megan on and tell her all about
Get her
CPAP.
update.
Get her update.
CPAP
Was she
update.
nervous about her CPAP?
She did told me she was nervous about it, and
so what do you say to people who are nervous about using the CPAP?
Megan told me she was I told Megan I eat nerves. Like,
I eat nerves.
Or you get nerves? You understand them?
No, I eat nerves because I don't get nervous
Anymore.
Okay, you were
all the
certainly nervous when you started with the CPAP.
Yeah, you thought it was going to kill you.
Yeah, because Mark sent me really
Mark was
stupid.
an asshole.
The thing is, the young bugs are the assholes. By line, Mark Walker was an asshole. When you say it, I did get nervous.
Mark, as in Derek's imaginary brother.
Yes.
You should not say that. That was just harsh
And wrong.
and wrong and all of it.
Okay, so but if we fast forward now, and if somebody like your cousin was nervous about the CPAP, what is your advice for them?
My advice for my cousin and especially people around the world, just stay calm. Just that max, that CPAP will help you sleep really good. It did work for me. So anyone listening to this, the CPAP is your friend.
I love that. Your CPAP's your friend.
There you go.
New shirts. What's that? Relax, stay calm, carry on, wear your CPAP.
The CPAP is your friend.
CPAP is my friend.
I love that. So you had a little sushi date with Katie and Megan. That's where you're talking about this.
Yep.
Did you eat all sushi that night?
Well, not all of it.
Well, but is that what you ordered?
Some of it.
He ate
Yeah.
half of it. She's asking
Half
you,
and half.
what were you eating? Were you eating raw fish or were you? I think he was eating all the
I'm sure you were
spring
eating like
roll
a
thingies.
like a fried crab sushi roll or something like that.
Yeah.
But you ate
I did.
sushi.
I did.
That was your dinner, sushi.
Yes.
And did you like it?
And guess what?
He's had it before.
But not many times.
A few times.
True. Guess what?
What? Tell me.
That was my first time being in that restaurant.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys
My
go?
first time.
Sushi AI?
Yes. Jersey AI. I just accomplished in 2024.
Another bucket list item.
Boom.
Another bucket list right here.
Check.
To dine in and
To dine
sushi.
in. I
I
All right. So,
It was my first time.
well, I'm happy for you. And you also had a swim meet this week. You guys were so busy while I was sick in my bed.
That was another long day. We had back-to-back weekends of
Special
long
Olympics.
Special Olympics events.
Yep. We did have weightlifting on Saturday. Weightlifting meet on Saturday.
And
That was
then-
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. And now we got swim meet
Yep.
on the next Saturday after that.
What's your favorite stroke?
Oh, man. I got lots of favorites. Trust me on that.
First one that comes to mind.
It was the day of backlash, and I did not miss all of it. That's okay. I still
That's okay because there's always the replay.
Oh, he watched it.
Oh, I know he did.
Peacock did have the replay, so I ended up watching the replay of it. That's okay. But back to swimming. Swimming is super fun. It's really awesome and making friends and especially all the athletes and coaches, the athletes at other schools and all of it.
But what's your favorite stroke?
And
Which one's your favorite to do in the water? Which one's your favorite thing to swim?
it's really amazing. And
Derek, do you prefer free, back,
Backstroke?
or breast?
I will get to it,
Oh my
okay?
goodness.
Chill. I just
He's
want to
teasing
say,
us.
I just want to say, shout out to my girl, my coach Jenna,
Jen.
Coach Jen.
Coach Jen.
You are awesome. I can't wait. The state swim meet on
May 31st.
May 31st coming up
In Columbia.
in Columbia. I am so excited for that.
We'll see you there.
We definitely see you there. We all love you. You are a great coach, so you deserve the coach of the year.
Oh, yeah. Coach of the year. Coach Jen.
Coach of the year.
She's awesome.
She is. Anyway, what is my favorite stroke? Probably the backstroke.
I knew he was going to say that. I could have answered that like 5 minutes ago.
Backstroke,
Although
freestyle, and breaststroke is a good one.
he does not do the butterfly.
The butterfly looks hard.
Butterfly's hard. Do you swim? Ever swim? Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
butterfly.
that's the butterfly. It's a tougher stroke. Yeah, but he does good
And
at the back.
the fly and the butterfly is a fly. That was super cool. I actually learned how to do to the butterfly.
Yeah, but he hasn't competed in the fly.
No.
It's a hard one.
And this time he talked Coach into doing the 200 backstroke.
But he only did 150.
He did not do all 8 laps. He did 6. I was counting, and then they all
And everybody else
cheered.
finished.
Oh, they were way finished. Well, there was only 2 of them that did it. He and Sammy Joe. And Sammy Joe's a very strong swimmer.
Oh.
She was done right around the time he hit the end of his 3rd or 3.5, 4 laps, and it's 8 laps, and she was done. I mean, she's a very good swimmer. And
Why did you sign up to do such a long one?
I think a 100 would have been a much better fit for him. He really likes the back, but I think the 100 would have been better. But because he did the 200 at regionals, he's got to do the 200 at states. And it takes him about 10 minutes, she said, normally. I'm like, well, that was a 7-minute swim because I was videoing.
Oh, boy. Okay. 10
So-
minutes.
But the good thing about that, and this is one thing that Derek learned back in high school when he was a swimmer, if he was the last one to finish, which he often is, he gets a good cheer. And he likes that.
Yeah.
He likes that, don't you?
All the time, Mom.
And do you remember our friend, and I can't remember her name. She's got dark hair, and she maybe wrote a book. We met her at a basketball tournament.
Okay.
Do you remember her? Maybe, I don't know if her name was, Teresa's coming to mind, but I don't know. Anyway, she was there, and we got to say hello to her again. And so that was fun to see her, but I can't.
Just letting you know, I don't think I'm gonna make it to the volleyball tonight.
Okay, we're not talking about that right
We'll
now.
see what happens to that, Mom.
Okay, so let's move on. Today, I do actually have to give Dad credit. We have talked about Down syndrome on the podcast multiple times. We've asked Mom lots of questions. Multiple times we've asked Mom lots of questions.
Yeah, and you never asked me
We-
anything.
We had Dad on the podcast. We
That's
asked
just mean. Why
Dad
you do
questions.
that?
And Dad said, I think you need to ask Derek some questions. So today I have questions for you, Derek. So I do apologize.
Yay.
I'm sorry.
Parasites decepted.
Okay, thank you for accepting my apology. So I have some questions
Thank you, Dad.
written down here. Shout out to Dad. It was his idea to talk directly to you. So I have some questions written down here from our Instagram followers. And I want you to do most of the talking today because I don't have it in me. My voice doesn't sound good.
Well, I'm sorry you have the rough time. And I have the rough time to staying awake, so we'll see what happens.
Oh boy, we're a mess. So Crystal Porter 963 wants to know. I really just think this is the best place to kick it off. I like this question,
Let's
and
hear
I'm
it.
interested in your answer.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about being yourself?
Wow. What's your favorite thing to be myself? Honestly, to be myself is very, very awesome. Like, to become the young man I am today, I guarantee if I have a son named Derek Allen Baker, that man is ready for the real world.
So if you have a son, you're going to name him Derek Allen Baker?
If I have a son named Derek Allen Baker, yes, I would.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Good to know. This is not a question, but this is from Matan15. I just want to say I love this page and Derek is a legend. Keep up the work.
Well, I'm no Rey Mysterio, but Derek Baker is a future Hall of Famer, and I am calling this right now.
You're the Baker Banter Hall of Famer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But becoming the legend of social media is really mind-blowing. So that's really freaking awesome.
I love that. You are a legend of social media. Carrie Winter would like to know, what is it like having Down syndrome?
Having Down syndrome is really, really cool and sometimes a little bit scary. When it happened in a hospital, it was very scary moment for me, but
you don't remember it.
If I was a kid, I might.
You weren't just a kid.
It.
You were a newborn.
I think that it scares you to hear that story.
Yeah, to hear that story over and over and over again.
Okay, so in case this is the first time somebody is listening, Mom, can you briefly explain what that story is?
Very briefly, He was in the hospital after a heart surgery, and he was having some breathing issues, and he kind of turned a little blue. And I finally got
maybe a little purple.
I got the attention of the doctor. His cardiologist happened to be in the hallway when I hollered for the third time, "I don't like how my baby's breathing," and she came in and put the little paddles on him and shocked him. And that's scary to think about, but you know what? I was there with you. And that's, my job as your mom is to do my best to keep you safe. And so I spent every single night with you in the hospital while you were there. I never left you alone. I had a friend, her name was Michelle. We shared the room. And so I might have gone to the bathroom or went and got food or whatever, but she was in the room. I spent every single night with him. There was a couple times my mom came up and sat with him for a couple hours so you and I could go to the zoo and some stuff. But I stayed in the hospital with you the entire time you were there to make sure that you were safe. But I can understand how that would be a scary thing for you to hear.
Yeah, to hear that story when I'm having that hard problems and I have to get surgery for it is really terrifying, but not fun.
You know what I hear when I hear that story?
What?
I understand that it's scary to hear for sure. What I hear is how dedicated your mom, our mom, was to you from the very beginning, which she still is. She dedicates so much of her life and her time to helping you be the best version of yourself. But I think it's a testament to, and of course, Dad, you wouldn't have been able to do that had Dad not been able to be home with me too, so I think it was a team effort by you and Dad, but just the dedication of Mom and Dad to take care of me and you when we were both very little and when you needed that support and that attention. And we are very blessed to have the parents that we have who are so, I feel like I've said dedicated 10 times, but that's just the best word I can come up with right now to supporting us and loving us and making sure that we have everything we need to succeed in the world.
You know what? I think you're definitely right about that. I am the best thing in this world, and not just the best thing, but become the young man I am right now is really blessing, and
you are a blessing for sure.
It's been a hell of a good ride. Become Derek Baker for the day, and now I am Derek Baker. And that's.
I think you've been Derek Allen Baker for more than just a day.
I'll agree to that, Shan.
Okay. Lopez98 would like to know, when did you learn you were different from everyone else, and how did you handle it? Do you have a moment or a story?
Wow.
How does that make you feel?
Become the different what you are reminds you how cool you are right now. who is Derek Baker? There's actually a big question right there.
Derek's actually wearing a shirt that says "Differences make the difference."
Yes.
Well, that's pretty appropriate.
Shout out to Festibility. Derek, do you think you are different?
Other disability kids is really more different of Derek Baker, but I don't think this Derek Baker is ready for that biggest world. That world when I lived in is gonna be super scary, and there's lots of things that could be in that world, but we all know the difference does make a difference.
Like when you were in school, did you feel like you were different than your classmates?
Probably, yeah.
Like what about some of the guys that were in Boy Scouts with you? Or the people who were in the play with you? Like, did you feel different than them?
It's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no.
No.
That's what I was trying to get at. Like, I don't necessarily feel like Derek saw himself as different.
I don't either.
Like,
you were just living your life.
I'm just living my life. Like every time I have lunch at school, I might eat alone, and some kids don't want to sit by that somebody who you are. But
did you ever eat alone at lunch?
Yeah, I have before. I was good at having that low time. It's sometimes eating lunch alone without people around you is really different than that. So
I don't think he ate alone very often.
I was to say, I don't recall you spending much time alone in the cafeteria. That was like where you were thriving.
Yeah,
I used to get pictures all the time from kids who were younger than me who were still at school, and I'd get selfies of them having lunch with Derek, and Derek would be sitting at the table with the cheerleaders and all the like my friends were seniors when he was a freshman. He'd be sitting at a table full of senior girls.
Well, I do that often. Sometimes I eat lunch alone. So
you eat lunch alone here because you're the only one at home.
That part is true. That part is true, Jen.
All right. Derek, this is
fun.
This is from Ferg Watson. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this. This is from Ferg Watson. Derek, you're amazing. What is your favorite family memory from growing up?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. That's actually a good question I ever heard right now. The best family memory when I got birthed by my own mother.
No friggin' way.
Because that's the best moment of me, and
you do not remember that.
Having that growth and having that shrunk suit is really the best time, and there's only one is the best family memory. Also,
how about when you were a kid, not when you were a baby?
Also, the best moment when you and I and Katie watch the Halloween show of the Sweet 11 Second Cody. That show
that's a good memory.
Esteban, hang up on her.
It's about gun to yellows on the go.
I have no idea what he said.
Esteban's gone. Something.
It's about gone. Saddle and make it amigo.
Something about amigo.
Sorry.
I was thinking he might say like his 16th birthday party. That was a heck of a day.
Yeah, the 60th.
And the 21st birthday party.
Let me tell a story about your 16th birthday party. So I came in town and I surprised Derek. I was in college at the time. So I came in town, surprised
Surprise!
him, picked him up.
There's Jenna!
He thought that was the end of the surprise. It was me and Sam and Allison were with me. And the three of us came in. We picked him up from school. We surprised him. He thought we were just like going to do whatever. Like he had no idea anything else was going on. But we were the ploy so that, you know, we picked him up. Everybody else was going to the party. Well, we get there. Derek walks into the room, lights go on, all the people are there, yell surprise, and he is like astonished.
Overwhelmed.
But he was so excited.
I was speechless to see all those people in that room.
But of course, he very quickly decides it's time to, you know, go say hello, schmooze everybody. He's going around. Every single person got a hug.
Every person in the room.
Every person can get a hug.
Except one.
Except one. Our cousin Justin had brought his now wife, Lauren, who at the time was his girlfriend, and it was Derek's first time meeting her. And at the time, we had been working with Derek on his greetings and what was appropriate.
Personal space.
And it was appropriate to hug people that we knew well, but he needed to high five or handshake or fist bump people who he didn't know as well. And he went around and hugged every single person in that room.
80, 60, 70, 80 people in this room. I mean, it went on for a long time.
A long time. And the only person who did not get a hug was Justin's, at the time, girlfriend, who he realized he was meeting for the first time. And he looked at her, realized he didn't know who she was, and stuck his hand out for a handshake.
I thought he gave her a hand.
Maybe it was a high five. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did she feel bad about that?
No,
No, honest, and it was amazing.
We
like
were I was like, oh my God, he's listening.
You're like, it's working. We were just so proud of him that he didn't hug her because, and every single other person he knew.
He knew everybody in the room.
He knew everybody else really well, so they all got hugs. But she, and now she gets plenty of hugs.
Now she gets hugs.
Because she is a member of the family at this point.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was his first time meeting her. He realized he didn't know who she was, and he gave her the appropriate greeting.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, that was the best family moment my entire life was that 16th best birthday surprise.
16th, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Hank Wolf, 28, has a question. I'm curious to see what you're going to say about this one. I feel like it depends on the day if you ask him this one.
I bet.
How is it like having sisters?
Wow. Wow, that was a great question.
Hopefully he's in a good mood today.
Well, I'm still a little bit froggy, but you get the deal. Having a sisters is really actually amazing. Like, I don't care if you are Katie or Jenna or could be Ted and Nia, but
Tess and Nia are imaginary sisters. Go ahead.
Jenna and Katie are credible for sure. Sometimes Katie has always become David Brad over the years, and as she still is now. But Katie got a little bit of soft spot for me, and I really brother have Katie around, and last time I shared the best family moment for me, you were obsessed with me, and that's very awesome about that, and having a sister obsessed of your brother, Jake and Baker. I think I am glad I call myself Jenna Nicole Baker because this kid is my brother, and I'm glad to have him.
Are you talking for me or you know? You're supposed to be saying what it's like to have sisters. I can answer what it's like to have you as my brother. That wasn't the question.
I am lucky to have him. He's
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Sisters.
We're accepting our Emmy.
And
you don't have to speak for me. Speak for you.
I'm speaking for both of us, okay?
No, thank you.
Too bad.
I don't need you to speak for me. I'm good on that.
But
Bottom line is you have 2 great sisters.
more importantly, having a sisters is really super cool, and having a great time with them. Like for example, Kenny and I watched that show, the Real Life Psychic Cody Halloween show. That show really scared Katie as a kid. That is ridiculous.
Well, she was little.
She was little when that happened, but
You used to be scared of Scooby-Doo.
That's way before.
You did get scared when Kelly was here, Derek.
Oh, yeah. When Kelly started talking about the scary movies, you were not into that. Or no, it wasn't even the scary movies. It was the true crime. He was scared of the true crime combo.
Wasn't a fan about that. But when you and I watched that show together, you and I were brave to watch it. So, you and I watched the show together. Katie is just...
I think he has ADHD too. Because he just jumped back to family moments. Not, what's it like having a sister?
He forgot the door code.
This is a part
coming
of
home today.
having a sister, okay?
Okay.
Kate, let's just say Katie is a chicken, not watching with us. But Jenny and I are brave to watch that show together. So, having that great moment, you and I watching that Halloween show, the Real Life Psychic Cody show.
I think Katie's brave too.
She's just shaking.
She's more brave now than she was when she was 6.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
Okay. I
So
do
you're
have to
all
tell you
shaking.
real quick, Jack, at his 16th birthday, we did a little like question and
God.
answer thing
This
where
is so funny.
Jenna and Katie were answering questions like what would Derek say is his favorite song? What's his favorite color? Blah, blah, blah. So she's away at school. Katie was 12-ish, almost 12. And she's like, you need to ask him who his favorite sister is. And I'm like, well, you know what he's going to say. Jenna. And she's like, I know it. And so the last question we asked was, Derek, who's your favorite sister? And the girls would write their answers down and he'd think for a second. I'm like, okay, Jenna, what's your answer? And she said, Jenna. And all the people are like, oh, like, I can't believe you asked that. And then Katie's like, Jenna. And Derek said, Jenna.
That did happen for sure.
Yeah. And it was
It's
funny.
very
But it was
similar.
Katie's idea. So it was okay that I asked that question because Katie. It was
She's
Katie's
literally
idea.
12.
She was 12. She's
Well,
like,
she
I
was
know.
12 years old when that happened, and she was a 6-year-old becoming a chicken.
Okay.
Now
Well, she
watching
was
a
chicken
show
as a
with us.
6-year-old.
All right.
let's
That's
move
enough.
on.
Anyways, new question.
Let's just say Jenny and I love that show, and if Jenny and I
It wasn't about the show, Derek. You were
watching that
supposed to be
show again,
talking
we
about.
would do it again.
We weren't
Okay.
supposed to be talking about a show. You were supposed to be talking about how's it like having sisters. But
And
anyway,
having Jenna as a sister is the best time in my life.
okay, say something nice about Katie.
Well, she was a chicken, so I do love that chicken.
He did it in the beginning. He said that it was amazing having 2 wonderful sisters. So,
That's true.
I did say that.
Katie,
Yeah.
I love you.
yeah, we do love Katie.
We do love Katie. Sometimes she is a chicken. Now watching that Sweet Love like a Cody Halloween show.
I think she's
Are
over
you-
it now. She's 23.
No.
Nope, she's still scared.
Okay.
She's still scared.
Anyways,
she's
Okay.
a,
Okay.
we're
she's
moving
a
on.
baby and she's a chicken.
Ready?
Stop defending her.
I'm gonna defend her. That's my girl. Okay, Robligation.
She was like the Cody Coyote.
All right. Anyways, Robligation says, "Does Derek?" I'm sorry. Where to go? Robligation says, "What was your favorite subject to learn growing up?"
Ooh. Subject. Can I count becoming a chicken?
Eating chicken.
Not that type of chicken. But the best subject is definitely science and math.
What about like Didn't you like some of your what are they called? Extracurricular activities, or not extracurricular activities, but extracurricular classes, like some
elective classes.
Elective classes. That's the word.
Math, English, and history. Yes.
Okay. No.
Like
Those
drama,
are core science,
and choir, and cooking.
Definitely.
And PE.
Definitely. PE, choir, and
You love drama. Mr. Little was a rock star.
Mr. Little is very awesome guy.
Yeah.
And I don't mind to see Mr. Little again.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite school teacher?
Probably Mr. Little and Miss Robinson.
I knew he was going to say Miss Robinson. Okay. She was an angel on earth, that woman.
What about anybody outside of high school? Those were both high school teachers. Was there anybody else you remember?
Well, one of them is definitely Miss Buckfire.
Yeah.
And Miss B.
Miss B was two paraprofessionals that worked with him.
Miss B was very nice lady. Miss Buckfire, let's just say Miss Buckfire is definitely a second mom to me.
Oh wow. Okay. Was it hard to make friends? That's a question from Carly Tinlin.
I don't think it's that hard making friends. I have great friends and
I mean, I don't think Derek ever had a problem making friends anywhere. He doesn't now. We meet people, at different wrestling events and out in restaurants and whatever, and he makes friends pretty darn easily.
Yeah, I make friends really good. Like the friends I have in the wrestling, like Bailey, Rey Mysterio, Dakota Kai, Io Sky.
So this is a different one. Taryn Fountain says, have you ever been mistreated because you had Down syndrome?
Wow. I don't think I have mistreated, but sometimes I do that with my dad all the time.
My dad mistreats me.
Because he always yells at me, and sometimes I get a little bit.
Dad is not all that patient sometimes.
Never have the patience like.
And sometimes you deserve a little, discipline.
Kick in the ass.
Sometimes it's just definitely kicking in your butt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He has
in my ass,
had a few. There have been a few circumstances where there were kids that were not being kind to him over the years. Yeah. But typically there was always somebody around who stuck up for him. And, it kind of goes back. We've had this conversation before where you were like, I always stuck up for the little guy because I hoped that somebody would be there to stick up for my brother if he needed help. I mean, I remember one time he ripped his pants on and was on the bus, and some of the kids.
That was a horrible day.
Were being
that was embarrassing.
Pretty brutal. And
were people being mean to you that day?
And he had this sweet friend.
I don't know which one was being mean to me.
Well, you don't have to tell me who.
Yeah, there was a couple kids that were not being nice.
There's a couple kids who wasn't nice to me because I have the Marcus rib in my pen.
Yeah, and he had this sweet friend Carly that he had gone to school with since 4th grade, and she was just this. Still, I mean, we don't see her like we used to, but the sweetest girl, and she gave him the wherewithal, told him to shut the up or whatever.
And I think she gave him his jacket.
She tied a jacket around him so that the rip was not seen, and pretty much put everybody in their place, and that was the end of it.
She was my first girlfriend.
Oh, you were madly
self-proclaimed girlfriend.
He was madly in love with Carly, but I don't think that was the first person you were madly in love with. There was another one before her.
Yes, this is true. I think Carly actually texted me the day that happened because she was so upset and wanted us to know.
I think that was in middle school. Like, I think maybe they were in 8th grade, and the kids, and I know who the kids are. I can tell you who they were. They were in 6th grade.
I thought he was a freshman in high school.
No, it was 6th graders being pretty ugly, and he was in 8th grade. And Carly sat him down and said, "That's not how we fly on this bus."
Love that.
No.
Love Carly.
Yes.
What was something? This is JH Sound Tech. What was something you never thought you could do that in the end you could?
Wow. That's pretty good one too. every kid I have been doing this family because I'm really cool kid and sometimes lives becomes fun. I don't think it's living hell, but I think life is super fun.
Derek likes to say when he's in trouble that he's in a living hell. Like when he was in trouble with the whole SmackDown thing, I picked him up from work, and he was like, "One more day, Jen." And I was like, "How's it going?" He was like, "It's been a living hell."
I did say that.
You're so dramatic. What I think a good answer to this question would maybe be the CPAP. Like that was something you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And now you do it every night.
It was super scary that I have done it in my life, but
can I answer what I thought Derek would never do that he's doing? That blows
I would
me
love
away?
your answer.
CPAP is growing on me.
Yeah. Can we have Mom's answer now?
Go ahead.
Well, so when Derek got out of high school, and was in the work program, we go through these programs and we talk about goals and things that he wants to do with his life. And one of the things that he always said he wanted to do was to be a part of the WWE. And I was like, okay, right? Like that's never going to happen. I'm sorry. That's what I thought. That's never going to happen. And not that he's a part of the WWE right now, like really a part of the WWE, but my goodness.
And now I am.
Well, but
adjacent.
The relationship that he has built, that you and he have built with the WWE and all of these friends that we have who are WWE superstars and people who know his name because of the content that he does, because, they're also WWE, fans. It's mind blowing to me that we are where we are.
Like Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Leah Mysterio, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Bailey, Drew McIntyre. The list goes on and on and on and on.
Chad and Otis. I mean, it's just like I never thought that he would have a relationship with WWE, but he truly has a relationship with the WWE and many of their superstars and a lot of their production people.
And let's never forget Bianca Belair and Ricochet.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And Logan Paul.
So when you have an adult child with a disability, your expectations of how they're going to fulfill their dreams it's daunting. And what we've been able to do through Baker Banter to make some of his dreams come true has been pretty spectacular.
Yeah. I think this is a good turning point because the last few questions I wanted to wrap up with.
But my dream match would be, Mom?
No, I don't know what your dream match would be. You against Dom, probably.
Well,
your brother?
That's definitely...
Brother against brother?
That's definitely my first dream, for sure. Having a blood versus blood with Dominic. My second dream is definitely... Fight you, sis, on night 2.
Fight you, sis. He's always wanting to fight the girls.
No, I'm out.
Okay,
anyways.
You cannot be out.
I can be out. This is a good place to transition because I did want to wrap up. There are a few questions about your love for wrestling. So Big Fan 2018 says, when did you start watching wrestling?
2016, before I graduated from high school. And 2017 to 2018, it's been over.
I think he started watching 2016, 2017. He had a kid that was in the work program with him that got him hooked on it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a kid to hook it up with me. I was on my phone, check out. I was on that app called Hulu, and
I think you were on YouTube.
You definitely started watching wrestling on YouTube. Okay, let me ask you this question. Dossie says, my man brings joy to me every video. My uncle is similar and also loves wrestling. But I want to know what made you fall in love with wrestling and what's like your earliest memory of wrestling.
The best part of wrestling is really Well, first of all, I do love the worldwide entertainment. Is definitely wrestling is entertaining. Like they're bringing great shows like NXT, SmackDown, Raw, Main Event. NXT's leveled up and wrestling WWE did level up.
So
And
is what made you fall in love with it was how entertaining it was?
that's the reason I fall in love with it, and I'm glad I have that relationship with wrestling, because wrestling is one of my favorite things is about, and one day I might be that WWE superstar and become tag team champion or United States champion, intercontinental champion.
He'll take any championship.
So valid. Okay, so this is from Ryan, Katie's boyfriend.
Ah!
He said, I'd
championship.
love to hear how Derek first discovered WWE.
Wait a second. Who question is this?
Ryan.
Katie's boyfriend.
What is his name?
Ryan.
Ryan had got a question.
Why'd you
Katie-
ask his name like you don't know?
Katie's
Yeah, he
boyfriend?
had dinner with us last night.
Yeah, you
Katie
know he's going to hear this. Where you say,
Oh
what's
my
his
God.
name?
Is it the other boy that comes to dinner? Just kidding.
Oh, boy.
Funny, Mom.
Yeah, I
Funny. Hi, Ryan.
So are you going to answer the question? Now I got to ask it again.
I was going to get.
I'd love to hear how Derek first discovered WWE.
Well, that's a good question for Katie's boyfriend named Ryan. Hi, Ryan. The first cover of wrestling, WWE is part of my family, and I have lots of respect for Stephanie the Big Man and what she's doing, and wrestling is becoming my life now because it's really respect to me, and falling in love with it is really, really awesome. And having this cover of wrestling, I think it's really cool. In fact, I did met freaking Hall of Famer Rick freaking Flair, and that is amazing to me.
Okay, we're going to switch off of wrestling. I have a couple of last questions. I was just checking the responses one more time to make sure I asked as many of the best questions that I could. But there's...
Well, I did answer a lot of it. So.
I know. Okay, so this one, I would like you to answer this. This is from JG1990. Do you feel... And Mom, I think you should jump in on this too if you have an opinion. Do you feel that you were respected by your peers growing up, D-Man?
I always respect my peers all the time,
But did they respect you?
But does it respect me? Absolutely. Like Shai just said, hustle, lower tier respect. I have that lower tier respect.
And did they treat you with respect?
They have to treat me some lower tier respect. That's exactly what that is, and having that respect is one situation thing to do, but you gotta respect you have that respect. You totally have respect for Derek Allen Baker. So
yeah, I think for the most part, all through school, we were in a nice situation. I mean, one of the things that's kind of cool about, and all three of you kids, you went to the same school for 13 years, right? So the kids you knew at kindergarten were the kids you graduated with. And I think that for the most part, there were those, kind of jerks out there that maybe weren't as kind as they could have been. But for the most part, he was just another kid in their class. And then the kids that he really grew up with in elementary school kind of stuck up for him in middle school and high school when maybe there was a bad egg who wasn't being as kind. So overall, for the most part, yeah, overwhelmingly, people were very nice to Derek. He was, I've heard them say, oh my God, he's one of the most popular kids in the school.
And those people, they deserve loyalty and respect.
Yeah. And I mean, he just, he's fun. Why would you not, have
He's
fun?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And he gives great hugs.
Yeah. So for the most part, it was a very good experience.
Justina.
This person says, I just want to see what you'll respond to this. Hi, Derek. You crack me up and always make my day. Have you ever learned to drive?
Never. I never learned to drive. I never take my learner's permit and all that. But I do have chauffeurs.
I do have chauffeurs. Yeah, Mom, Jenna, Dad, Katie.
He's got 4 chauffeurs.
Oh my God.
Take me everywhere, like Walmart, baseball practice,
Work.
basketball, work is one of them, swimming.
Do you want to drive?
Absolutely not. I'm not gonna do it.
He used to want to drive.
Yeah, he would never really give me time with. I sat with him and tried to go through the book to get his permit, and he would just he'd talk to me for 5 minutes and say, I'm good, and I don't want to do this.
He would talk about wanting to drive,
Right.
and then when it came to actually
he never
studying
put in the work.
and doing what you have to do it, he was not going to do that.
He did drive a go-kart one time. This is pretty funny. I don't know how old he was.
I did.
Well, I was in high
He
school.
was going to say he was an early teenager. He kept telling me every time we go to Branson back in the day, we do one of the Woodies, which is the big wooden go-kart tracks, and he told me, I want to drive. Well, I'm certainly not letting him loose on Woody, right? Because that was a big deal and goes way too fast. But there was some smaller carts, and so I went and talked to the kid working. I'm like, hey, can he try it? And he's like, sure. And so I mean, it wasn't, these were like ramped down, they couldn't go as fast. It was a smaller
there
track.
wasn't many people on the track,
and then but at first it was just him and another kid, and then like 4 more little boys come in behind him, and they're like, he comes out of this thing and hits the wall, and then kind of we're like, you gotta turn it, and he hits the wall. He went around one time and parked. I'm done. I'm like, ugh. And I said to the kid, can he have a lap, by himself? He's like, yeah. So he waited. The kids did their whole turn, and then Derek got to go out again by himself, and he maybe did it one more time. Later on, just a couple of weeks later, he started talking about driving the car again. I guess he was right around 16.
It was right around his 16. Yeah. When he was like, and he was obsessing over wanting to drive, but he didn't actually want to put in the work.
Yeah. And I said, he's like talking about he's going to take my car and he's going to start driving and blah, blah, blah. And I said, Derek, do you remember we were at that go-kart last summer? Like, you hit the wall, because he did. He just kept pounding it into it, and he'd turn and pound and turn and hit it again. And he looked at me and goes, hit the wall's a metaphor, Mom. Like, well, sometimes, but you actually hit the wall. Sometimes it's a metaphor. Sometimes it's not.
Okay, last question. This is from our cousin Kyle.
Oh.
Shout out to Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Let's see. I'm curious to see if you have an answer for this. When did he first start to understand he had Down syndrome?
You know what? Having Down syndrome is really mind blowing right now, and having that ability I have, and it's big change. It's big change, and having that change is really change your type of person when you are, and having that change you have to be. Let's just say you would be a really awesome, cool kid, and my mom does have cool kid, and that cool kid is definitely Derek Baker.
A little dabble, do ya?
Derek Baker is cool kid, and having the ability I have is amazing. Is incredible. Disabilities, Down syndrome, all of it is very important to have Derek Baker in this world right now, and he is today, because
it makes you who you are, doesn't it?
That makes me who I am.
Yeah. Perfect. I think that's a great place to end.
I think it's a great place to end.
All right. Well, good job, buddy. Did you enjoy answering your questions today?
It was fun for sure.
Woo! All right, we'll have to do a Down syndrome Q&A with Derek more often.
You should. Just say more questions. I might ask a lot.
All right, well, that is all we have time for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure to tell your friends about this podcast, especially if you're interested in learning more about the disability and the Down syndrome community. Yes, they should definitely like and subscribe and...
I already said, and I might repeat myself, share
this podcast and find us on all the platforms at Baker Banter. Find Derek on Snapchat at Baker Banter. He does all of his wrestling predictions each week. We are on
like tonight, NXT.
We are on Cameo at Baker Banter. It's a little late to get a Mother's Day cameo, but maybe your dad really likes Baker Banter and you need a Father's Day idea. Find us on Cameo. Find our merch, bakerbanter.com, and we will talk to you on Thursday.
Peace.
Good night.
One more thing.
Good night.
P.S. Derek's got a last message.
I don't think it's the last message, but let's just say I am glad I am in this world right now because of this, because we are the Becker family. And I'm going to say this perfectly clear. And I'm going to do it with a freak out. And I want you to say it. 3, 2, 1. We are Baker's Bantering!
Peace.
Peace.